A woman picked up a basin of rotten and poured it all over her boyfriend's head, unaware that this act would send her life plummeting to rock bottom. The woman's name was Samdal. She had a childhood friend named Young Pil. Though they both lived on Jeju Island, their life goals couldn't have been more different. Samdal was determined to leave her hometown stream behind and fight her way up in the world, while Young Pil longed for a peaceful, pastoral life by that same stream. Their conflicting ideals meant they were never destined to end up together. Years later, Samdal had become one of South Korea's most sought-after photographers, working with top stars. She was also set to become the first Korean to hold a solo exhibition in Paris. Just when her career was soaring, Samdal discovered her boyfriend had cheated on her. She wanted badly to expose the jerk in public but ultimately chose restraint. The next morning, she dumped that same rotten stew on his head, warning him not to act like he hadn't done anything wrong. Although it felt good in the moment, news of Samdal's breakup spread quickly among her friends. It turned out the idea to throw the spoiled stew had come from her niece. The little girl also reminded her sleepy mom to come home by midnight, regardless of whether she was drinking or clubbing, because she believed that their ages shared the unlucky number 9, and bad things would happen. After the breakup, Samdal threw herself into her work. But while her colleagues praised her, her assistant Eun-young was unhappy. No matter what Samdal did, Eun-young insisted on tagging along. Everyone knew she was ungrateful. One day during a work meeting, an editor asked Samdal to take on a major project, but her schedule was already full for the year. The editor then suggested using Samdal's name to draft the concept, while Eun-young handled the actual shoot. Samdal declined after some thought, which made Eun-young resentful. That afternoon during a shoot, a prop bracelet appeared on set, something that didn't belong in the cafe scene. When questioned, a crew member said they included it because it looked pretty. Samdal calmly reiterated the concept and asked for it to be removed. However, during the actual shoot, the model walked into the studio wearing the bracelet. Samdal lost her temper and pulled Eun-young aside on the rooftop. She reminded her that the shoot was for a summer-themed magazine cover and the design was meant to highlight clean lines, while the bracelet, though beautiful, didn't match the concept. Though Samdal tried to be firm but kind, she reminded Eun-young to maintain professional boundaries. That evening, the company held a dinner party to celebrate Samdal's upcoming Paris exhibition. Everyone seemed happy, except Eun-young. Someone brought up the cheating scandal, and unexpectedly, the editor shared the story in detail. Curious colleagues asked who the third party was. Samdal remained silent, unwilling to name Eun-young, but Eun-young overheard and angrily left. After the dinner, Samdal received a text from Eun-young. It included a photo of Eun-young and Samdal's ex-boyfriend looking intimate. Samdal also noticed Eun-young was wearing the exact same hairpin as her. Samdal was stunned. Eun-young had long resented her for not giving her a chance and started copying her, down to her gestures and style, before stealing her boyfriend. Samdal reminded her that only talent leads to real opportunity, otherwise, you're inviting crisis. She told Eun-young she could keep the scumbag but had to finish the Paris exhibition work properly. Later, Samdal got drunk at a bar. She looked around and saw other patrons laughing with friends. Of course, she felt heartbroken. When she woke up, she was at home. Her sister tossed her some hangover medicine and told her that their eldest sister had scolded her last night. Apparently, Samdal came home drunk, looking for soju, making a scene, rolling on the floor, doing bridge exercises, and then crying. Her boyfriend's betrayal, her assistant's betrayal, and not even receiving an apology, it all hurt deeply. She cried herself to sleep. The next morning, Samdal walked into the living room only to see a news broadcast reporting that the assistant of a famous photographer had filed a complaint for emotional abuse, verbal harassment, and workplace bullying. Suddenly, Samdal was at the center of a massive scandal. All her business contracts were terminated. Advertisers pulled out. Even close celebrity friends distanced themselves, afraid of getting caught up in the drama. Editors who once begged her for photos were now demanding her exhibition works be pulled. As the saying goes, when you fall, everyone rushes to kick you. Samdal's career crashed from its peak straight into the dirt. Then came a message from the Paris team. Due to the uncontrollable public backlash, they could no longer proceed with the exhibition. After 15 years of hard work, Samdal couldn't hold it in anymore. She remembered something her mentor once said: stay underwater only as long as you can hold your breath. Do your best within the limits of what you can bear. When you can't hold on anymore, rise back to the surface. The next day, Samdal's mother and daughters were collecting seafood by the sea. A local woman envied her for having 3 daughters, all of whom had become successful in Seoul. Most others from their village who moved away eventually failed and returned. But Samdal's mother didn't share the same pride. When she got home and saw all 3 daughters standing at the door with her niece, she knew something was wrong. Usually, they were too busy to come home for holidays. This time, they didn't even call before arriving. Looking at the luggage, she grew worried. One daughter had returned before because she got pregnant. Another had returned when she divorced. Now there were 3 suitcases. She sat down, panicking. Did the eldest hit someone again? Was the youngest pregnant again? Or had Samdal's career completely collapsed? After interrogating them, their father also got curious. The eldest didn't hide the truth. Someone had falsely accused Samdal of workplace bullying. Even though they had clarified and posted a public statement, all the posts were buried. Because the public doesn't care about the truth, they just want a successful woman to be the villain. The father didn't understand. Samdal had done nothing wrong, so why didn't anyone investigate the facts? The youngest replied, the industry avoided involvement out of fear of backlash. The father told them not to let their mother find out. That night, the 3 sisters drank together in silence. Samdal was still furious about being framed. The youngest didn't understand why she wouldn't just tell people about the cheating ex. There has always been a terrifying legend about the 3 sisters in the village. The eldest was astonishing from a young age. While other kids were still drinking milk, she was already sitting at the table with a spoon, eating with her parents. She was born incredibly strong, often taking down multiple boys on her own. The second sister, known for her fiery temper, was also Samdal. Whenever someone angered her, she wouldn't let them go until she had fully vented. Even their father couldn't escape her wrath. The youngest, Kdrama, was reckless and fearless. She didn't care who she was up against, even adults. She often reported elderly people who illegally asked kids to buy alcohol. The entire town lived in fear of the 3 sisters. The next morning, while the sisters were still recovering from a hangover, their mother was already up cleaning the yard. She suddenly spotted Yongpil's car and seemed deep in thought. She and her husband were worried that their second daughter, Samdal, would run into Yongpil. Samdal had likely just broken up with another loser, which explained the sorry state she crawled home in. Just thinking about it made their mother sigh. Despite her age, Samdal still couldn't find a decent boyfriend. Entering the house, their mother saw empty alcohol cans all over the floor and Samdal still fast asleep. Furious, she shouted, "Is coming home just an excuse to drink?" The other 2 sisters, awakened by the commotion, pretended they had just gotten up and joined in, all 3 starting to accuse each other of drinking too much. Meanwhile, across the street, Yongpil was making breakfast for his father. Before he could finish eating, his dad told him he had a blind date later, but Yongpil hadn't moved on from Samdal. He kept rejecting blind dates with all sorts of excuses. He quickly changed the subject, suggesting his dad meet the cleaning lady from their company instead. So, what happens next? Their mother was afraid that the villagers would see all 3 of her daughters and think she had failed in life, so she told Samdal to stay in. Samdal lay on the couch reading news about herself. Public opinion was brutal, questioning her credentials, insulting her, even wishing her dead. Reading it crushed her spirit. As the saying goes, when you're down, even drinking cold water can crack your teeth. She reached for the remote, but the batteries were dead. At that moment, Yongpil came by looking for their mom, but no one was in the yard. Inside, Samdal had already turned the house upside down trying to find batteries but with no luck. Suddenly, she heard Yongpil's voice and froze. She stood still for over 2 seconds. As he entered the house, Samdal quickly hid in the bedroom, but he saw a shadow. She braced herself, holding the door shut as Yongpil knocked. A string tied to the door caught his attention. It was actually Samdal's belt that had gotten stuck. As Yongpil bent down to examine it, he noticed something odd. There was tension on the string, meaning someone was definitely inside but didn't want to be seen. Seeing the mess inside, Young-pil assumed it was a burglar and called the neighborhood patrol. Inside, Samdal was giving herself a pep talk, preparing to face him calmly. But when she turned and saw her disheveled reflection, she gave up on the idea. Young-pil eventually found the bedroom key. As he struggled to open the door, he tugged on the belt. Young-pil pulled harder. Now it was a full-on tug of war. They both used all their strength. With a loud bang, the door flew open. Seeing her again, Young-pil's mind went back to the day they broke up. There seemed to be a reason, something she hadn't shared, something that forced her to leave. Samdal also remembered standing outside his home that night, hearts full of unspoken words. They hadn't seen each other in 8 years. Young-pil had so much to say but only managed a quiet, "Long time no see." Samdal didn't want to lose face. She didn't want to see anyone. Young-pil quickly grabbed a blanket and threw it over her, covering her along with her last shred of pride. After finally getting his friend to leave, Young-pil came back to comfort her. But he didn't know what to say. Honestly, the whole situation was sudden. Samdal had stopped crying. The air between them felt frozen. That night, full of sadness, she went to the beach alone to vent. But the more peaceful the setting, the more her thoughts spiraled. She remembered her assistant, Eun-young, and wondered if the suicide was really her fault. Her texts were met with silence. Meanwhile, the village women, patrolling the beach, were gossiping about how Samdal had bullied her employees. That's when their mom realized why Samdal had returned. Back at the beach, Samdal stood by the edge of the water. Was it the pressure or just mental exhaustion? She teetered at the edge, as if about to fall in. Young-pil had seen Samdal wobbling by the riverside and thought she was about to take her own life. In a panic, he tried to pull her back but slipped and fell into the water himself. Thankfully, Samdal knew how to swim and managed to pull him out. Once on land, Young-pil clutched his head and refused to let go. He kept urging her to go home. But Samdal, worried he was hurt, wouldn't leave him. After a bit of pressing, Young-pil finally admitted he was just too embarrassed. Samdal laughed. It made sense. She stood up, ready to leave, but looking at him again, she couldn't help but chuckle. After confirming that she had left, Young-pil sat up slowly, only to find her still there. On the way home, Young-pil walked her back. Samdal kept explaining. She hadn't returned because she failed. She just missed home. And she begged him not to tell anyone. That night, unable to sleep, Samdal opened the window and looked toward Young-pil's house. She remembered, every time she was hurt or upset, he was always the first to comfort her. The village wakes earlier than the city. Samdal suddenly heard Young-pil calling her name loudly, even though she told him not to tell anyone. Samdal, visibly annoyed, gave Young-pil a light tap and asked what he was trying to achieve. It turned out he was looking for a dog, and he had even named the dog after Samdal. While they were talking, Kyungtae walked over carrying trash. Samdal had hidden herself in the trash heap. When Kyungtae mistook the situation, thinking the dog Samdal was being mistreated, he stood up for her. While speaking and tossing trash away, he was startled by the real Samdal. Realizing she couldn't keep hiding, Samdal greeted Kyungtae honestly, then ran away without looking back. At this point, Samdal's mother had already learned why her second daughter had returned. She felt truly heartbroken. Her older and younger sisters, after informing Samdal, decided to leave the house and hide for a while. Feeling restless, Samdal came home but didn't know how to explain anything to her mom. As soon as she entered, she ran right into her. Her mom didn't say a word. She handed Samdal a clean quilt to hang outside, then quietly retreated to her room. What mother doesn't trust her daughter? She just didn't know how to express it. Carrying the quilt, Samdal was startled by a sudden door opening. Samdal was shocked to see Kyungtae and Lim standing outside trying to block her way. Soon, Lim grew impatient and left with Kyungtae. On their way, the two ran into the village's rich kid, Sang-do, and told him that Samdal had returned to the village. After realizing no one was around, Samdal nervously went into the courtyard to hang the quilt. Just then, Sang-do arrived. Years ago, the five of them had made a pact to pursue success in the big city. But because Sang-do came from a poor family and couldn't afford a plane ticket, he didn't go. The group had promised that once they succeeded, they would come back for him. Now that they were back, Samdal couldn't help but feel happy. That night, She went out to buy some clothes and happened to run into the village's women's patrol team. Unexpectedly, she overheard them talking about her situation. Already disheartened, Samdal grew even more upset. She wandered the streets. Suddenly, she heard people gossiping behind her, saying things like, if Samdal's mom knew what her daughter had done, she'd be devastated, and speculating whether Samdal had considered taking her own life. Once they recognized Samdal, the women quickly dragged their husbands away. The endless rumors and gossip pushed Samdal to the edge emotionally. She found herself under the big tree at the village entrance. Just then Yongpil showed up. He gently removed her hat, saying that sneaking around would only make things more obvious. He reminded her that bottling everything up would only make the dark thoughts darker. Life was full of setbacks. Yongpil then invited her to go have a drink with some friends. But Samdal still wanted to keep her return a secret. The truth, however, was that everyone already knew, including the dogs at the village gate. Realizing that, Samdal agreed to go along. On the way, Yongpil expressed how happy he was to see her back and said he wanted to know if she had been doing okay. Samdal didn't answer. Instead, she asked if he was curious about anything else regarding her. Caught off guard, Yongpil just replied casually, no. Meanwhile, their friends were already chatting nearby. But the moment Samdal arrived, she happened to overhear Kyungtae saying he felt happy seeing her become this kind of person. That comment was the final blow. Ever since Samdal's mom found out, she has been unable to sleep at night. Meanwhile, after venting her emotions, Samdal got herself drunk. The village's F4 didn't even dare get close to her. Fearing she might cause trouble, they watched as she suddenly stood up, eyes dazed, staring at them. The last time this happened, she said the exact same words. F4 immediately knew something was wrong. Someone even sighed that she's almost 40 and still hasn't changed. When Samdal woke up again, she found herself lying at her doorstep with no memory of how she got back. Suddenly, she heard her mom saying she was going to run in her pajamas to vent her emotions. Samdal quickly clarified that she had never bullied her assistant. Samdal's mom was relieved but still wanted to confirm whether the news reports were true. However, as an older person, she couldn't understand. If her daughter hadn't done anything wrong, why had she come back at all? She insisted on bringing Samdal back to Seoul to clear her name. But Samdal confessed that even if they did, no one would listen. They had already tried that when the incident first broke out. The reporters only wanted traffic-grabbing stories. They didn't care about the truth. Samdal's mom couldn't understand. What had her daughter done in the past 18 years to make it so that no one believed her? In fact, Samdal herself felt extremely wronged. In the end, Samdal's mom still went for a jog in her pajamas. She happened to run into Yongpil, who she then told to reduce the number of times they meet, afraid of running into her second daughter and upsetting her. Yongpil felt that Samdal's mom was more concerned about Samdal, and said, "It's pitiful to be someone without a mother." Samdal's mom immediately replied, "How could you not have a mother?" Samdal gently draped a coat over her shoulders and told her to go home early since it was cold. Watching his back as he left, Samdal's mom felt a bit better. Meanwhile, the evil assistant returned to the office to pack up. She secretly took the X magazine project proposal with her. When the two assistants saw her, they immediately exploded, accusing her of lying and framing Samdal. But Eun-jing insisted that Samdal never gave her a chance or allowed her to be independent. She only hurt her self-esteem. She even revealed that the moment she left, she was offered a case, ironically, from X magazine. Everyone knew the case was handed to her by that scumbag, but Eun-jing didn't care. In short, that woman is shameless, arrogant, and self-centered. She left with her things. I usually don't curse, but that couple really ticks me off. Eun-jing and the scumbag both insisted they were bullied by Samdal. Elsewhere, Samdal's mom and two other women were getting ready to go out to sea. Seeing her in a good mood, they shared something they saw on TV. Usually when someone makes a public mistake, if they issue a formal apology and bow their heads sincerely, they'll have a chance to be forgiven. They were clearly talking about Samdal's bullying scandal. Upon hearing this, Samdal's mom hurriedly turned back. Next scene, Samdal's mom brought Samdal to the female divers team. Samdal's mother told her to explain to everyone that the news reports were false. She emphasized that even when Samdao was still a student, she often brought lonely classmates home, especially those whose moms were too busy to eat with them. Everyone present knew about it. Yet they still believed Samdao had bullied someone. Only people who did something wrong need to issue public apologies, her mother insisted. Samdao was deeply moved and instinctively wanted to hug her mom, but her mother pushed her away coldly. At first, people had doubted her. Then they started to pity her. And eventually, they felt sorry for Young Pil, because back in the day, Samdao had dumped him. That story alone gave her enough earfuls for an entire day. Meanwhile, Samdao's brother-in-law was sent by her father to Jeju to discuss a theme park project. Samdao had once told a kind lie to a bus driver just so her crush could catch his ride. Legend had it that if you could catch a falling flower petal with your bare hands, your first love would come true. Samdao thought that was just too cheesy. Young Pil scoffed that she didn't understand romance. A breeze passed and petals began to fall. It seemed like a beautiful love story. But what no one expected was that he had fallen in love with the wild version of her from that time. Turns out, Samdao had gotten drunk the night before and had no idea where her phone had gone. She kept calling it, but no one picked up. Just as he was about to head out, Samdao called. They agreed to meet by the river. Young Pil asked if she remembered what had happened the previous night. Sam, embarrassed, recalled herself crouched on the ground crying and ranting. She lied and said she didn't remember. But Young Pil didn't believe her. Samdao got flustered, anxious to get her phone back. Young Pil was delighted. She was back to being the real Samdao. Pretending to be fine and cheerful was something only required for surviving the working world. Samdao blushed and asked for her phone back. But before that, Young Pil wanted to ask her something. In the end, he didn't have the courage to say it. Right then, the scumbag boyfriend called. On the way home, Young Pil looked disheartened. He asked Samdao if the caller was her boyfriend. After a moment of silence, Samdao responded, "That jerk." Then she hurried home. The medicine Young Pil bought was never delivered. Once inside, Samdao regretted it, but she couldn't come clean about being cheated on. That would make her seem pitiful to Young Pil. He still didn't know about the cheating. But earlier that day, Young Pil had answered a call from that guy using Samdao's phone. The ex tried to dodge the bullying scandal and seemed unfazed that Samdao had moved on so quickly. This really got under Young Pil's skin. He couldn't stop overthinking about what kind of guy Samdao had been with. The next morning, village speakers blared. It was the day of the oyster harvest. Though the three daughters resisted, their mom persuaded them to participate. Coincidentally, Young Pil also showed up. The villagers, unaware of the full story, pitted him and warned him to stay away from Samdao. While they were collecting oysters, someone's shoulder bumped into Young Pil's, and a piece of shell flew into Samdao's face. She was embarrassed but also found it a bit funny. Samdao, however, misread it as mockery. Things escalated quickly. Fortunately, her mother stepped in and calmed everyone down. In the end, the two realized there were misunderstandings between them. Later, Young Pil told Samdao that he never asked her whether she had bullied anyone, because he trusted that she hadn't. Hearing that warmed Samdao's heart. But then Young Pil added sharply that even if he believed her, her ex didn't. That puzzled Samdao. How did Young Pil know about the ex? When she got home, she found a bag of swelling cream on the windowsill. Last night, she had seen Young Pil carrying it. Her feelings for him softened again. Just then, she received a text from the ex. "Already got a new man, huh?" Realizing something was off, Samdao called him and demanded an explanation. Meanwhile, Young Pil finally confirmed that the ex had cheated on her. That's why they broke up. Samdao called right at that moment. They met up, and she admitted the jerk wasn't her boyfriend anymore. She had lied because she felt ashamed, coming back home after dating someone so trashy, instead of someone better than Young Pil. Flashback to years ago, when Young Pil finally worked up the courage to confess to Samdao. But just as he was about to say it, he tripped. Unexpectedly, he discovered Samdao's gift box, which contained a letter, her own confession to him. Turns out, it had always been a two-way love. Back when they were kids, Young Pil had always looked out for her. When his mother passed away, she had cried even harder than him. And yet, she felt ashamed of being with someone worse than Young Pil. Young Pil didn't get it. Her ex had cheated. That made Samdal the victim, right? Why was she the one feeling ashamed? Yongpil pushed her to speak honestly. Samdal asked, "If I still want to get back with my ex, or keep liking you, what right do you have to interfere?" Just as Samdal was about to leave, he shouted after her, "Because I'm your ex-boyfriend." Samdal slowly turned back and admitted that was why she felt ashamed. Yongpil immediately regretted saying it. After Samdal returned inside, she saw the ointment on the table. Her mind wandered back to the year she and her mom fought about studying abroad. She ended up with a huge bump on her head. Yongpil had consoled her and treated her wound. That carefree past felt so far away now. She turned off the light, trying not to dwell on the memories, but the more she tried, the more chaotic her thoughts became. Coincidentally, Yongpil couldn't sleep either. The next morning, Samdal's mom sent her older sister to work part-time in the neighboring Namdari village. Meanwhile, Yongpil arrived early at a local cultural hall and stared blankly at an old photo. It was a picture of his mom and Samdal's mom, once considered the most beautiful haenyeo. Both were 27 and pregnant at the time. Back in Samdal village, the women were gossiping. One of them recounted how Samdal and Yongpil had once thrown oysters at each other. Each insisted the other dump them. The chattier they got, the more desperate one of them became to find out who had actually done the dumping. But no one knew. Their discussion grew louder and louder until Samdal's mom came out and told them to mind their own business. But one woman said the story of Yongpil and Samdal's love life was more interesting than anything on TV. They were born on the same day, grew up loving each other madly, and when they broke up, Yongpil became a total mess for a long time. Their split had thrown the whole village into chaos. The woman begged Samdal's mom to tell them who broke whose heart, or at least why they broke up. But she just ignored them. At the welcome ceremony for the newly returned, the one being welcomed was none other than Samdal's ex-brother-in-law, Damme. To show proper hospitality, the village chief served Damme a full bowl of rice wine. Damme was terrified just at the sight of alcohol. The village chief then presented a rare red sea cucumber prepared by the haenyeo, female divers. Damme saw something pulsating in front of him and got so scared he dropped the tray and collapsed to the ground. The village chief kindly helped him up. What should have been a pleasant ceremony turned into a mess. Meanwhile, Samdal's elder sister was directing traffic on the road. A male driver, unhappy about the control measures, cursed at her, calling her offensive names. The elder sister, enraged, stormed over and started scolding him. For 10 full minutes, she didn't repeat a single insult. The woman in the passenger seat recognized the elder sister and urged her husband to drive away quickly. The elder sister's ex-husband spotted her in the village. Just then, their eyes met from a distance. The man immediately turned away in fear, moving so fast even his cheeks lagged behind. The elder sister, pretending to stay calm, chased after the male driver, who ran straight toward his house. Next, a fancy Lamborghini suddenly appeared in the village. Samdal warned her childhood friend not to touch the expensive car, saying if it got scratched or the owner saw them, it would be bad. Her friend asked in confusion whether the car was really that valuable. As Samdal pulled her friend away, she said riding in a car like that even once before dying would be enough for her. Unexpectedly, her friend turned out to be the owner of the Lamborghini. Although she covered her mouth, Samdal's surprised gasp echoed through the village. Elsewhere, Samdal's junior colleague asked a journalist friend they'd previously worked with to write a clarifying article. But since capitalists had no interest in a worthless photographer, nothing came of it. However, the journalist did reveal that the feature in X magazine was secured by that scumbag with help from Eunjin. As the two colleagues were about to leave, they unexpectedly discovered the original project proposal. It was full of Samdal's ideas but listed Eunjin as the creator. The two rushed back to the office to confirm and, sure enough, the surveillance footage captured the act of plagiarism. They immediately reported this to Samdal. In that moment, emotions of anger, injustice, and sorrow swirled together. Samdal decided to return to Seoul to confirm something and asked Yongpil to drive her to the airport. However, the Lamborghini's sunroof hadn't been closed, and the engine failed after the rain. In the end, Yongpil drove everyone to the airport instead. Meanwhile, the eldest sister had stopped going out ever since running into her ex-brother-in-law. Turns out he was a controlling man. Due to her direct personality, she had once left her in-laws to escape a life of submission. Even now, she sometimes couldn't hold back tears when thinking about it. Elders in the village pitted the daughter of the youngest sister, spreading rumors that her husband had died because of Samdal's mother. When the young girl, Hei, heard the gossip, she neither cried nor made a scene. She simply told the grandmothers that her father had died of natural causes, and no one was to blame. Elsewhere, Unjin presented a pitch using Samdal's ideas. Investors praised the concept and the unique color palette, wondering why someone with such taste would work under anyone else. Unjin claimed the ideas came to her on the spot. But the scumbag started to suspect something was wrong and asked if the ideas were truly her own. Unjin immediately said yes. However, she quickly faltered when asked how the model styling and props would be handled. She pushed the responsibility onto the planner, shocking everyone. After all, it's the photographer who should provide the concept so that the planner can execute it properly. Just then, Samdal quietly entered the meeting room and walked straight up to the front, bluntly asking Unjin some questions. To others, Samdal appeared like a disgruntled assistant, which delighted Unjin. Samdal then questioned the scumbag. Could he really not recognize all the elements in the proposal? Trying to protect Unjin, he said the ideas were just generally similar, an indirect admission that Unjin had plagiarized. Soon, the room cleared out, leaving Samdal and Unjin alone. Samdal pulled out the surveillance video. Yet even faced with hard evidence, Unjin insisted she had only been inspired. But Samdal hadn't come to argue about ideas. She only wanted to know if Unjin had chosen to betray her because of something she did. Ever since the incident, Samdal had been tormented, wondering if she had unintentionally hurt Unjin with her words, and if that had led to this. But upon seeing the theft, Samdal finally realized Unjin's betrayal was just to climb higher. And now, no one would believe Samdal. It had all been a setup from the beginning, to quickly become a photographer and land a contract. Discovering the truth pushed Samdal into an emotional breakdown. Yong-pil, worried, showed up just in time and gently led her out of the company. On the way out, Samdal grew even more upset. She had done nothing wrong, yet her career had been ruined at its peak, and 18 years of effort had gone to waste. Seeing how heartbroken Samdal was, Yong-pil offered his shoulder for her to lean on. Samdal's mother heard from the Haenyeo divers that Yong-pil had gone to Seoul yesterday. Shocked, she returned home and dug through the trash to find Samdal's ticket. Just then, Hei came in, giving Samdal an excuse to retreat to her room. Out of habit, she looked toward Yong-pil's house. It was dark and empty. She wondered why he wasn't back yet. Yong-pil and Kyung-tae were actually chatting after returning. Kyung-tae asked if he still hadn't forgotten Samdal, because he liked her. Turns out, Kyung had always liked Samdal, even when she was dating someone else. He hadn't planned to say anything, but every time he saw Yong-pil, he felt guilty. And every time Kyung-tae got drunk, he told Yong-pil that he liked Samdal. He'd said it at least 19 times. Yong-pil thought it was a condition, alcoholic memory loss, and told him to see a doctor. Before leaving, Yong-pil encouraged Kyung-tae, saying liking someone doesn't require permission from others. There's no need to feel guilty. But Kyung-tae believed that he couldn't like someone his childhood friend liked. You don't even know, he said. I still owe over 301. Meanwhile, it started to rain. Samdal noticed that Yong-pil's window was left open. On the way home, Yong-pil saw 2 stray cats. Just as he reached to pet them, he remembered how Samdal had once said that mother cats abandon kittens that have been touched by people, so he didn't touch them. Instead, they sat together in the rain for over an hour holding an umbrella for the kittens. Samdal teased Yong-pil for being bad at forecasting the weather. He hadn't brought an umbrella because of her. At that time, Samdal was still just an amateur. Eventually, they decided to leave the umbrella for the kittens and walked home together. On the way, Yong-pil impulsively kissed Samdal. Now, Yong-pil had made the same decision again. But just as he got to his front door, he saw Samdal doing something with a stick in the pouring rain. They both slipped and fell. Samdal tried to get up shyly, but Yong-pil held her tightly in a hug. Maybe the director thought this was romantic. Later, Samdal treated Young-pil's elbow injury and again teased him for bad weather prediction. But now, Young-pil had become a top-tier meteorologist, so in demand that he got 3 job offers a day from Seoul. Samdal couldn't understand why he wouldn't go. Young-pil said he just wanted to stay in his hometown and live simply. The rain stopped quickly. Samdal told Young-pil not to tell her mom about their trip to Seoul together. The next morning, when Young-pil saw Samdal in strange clothes before work, apparently, Samdal had come back from Seoul and was looking to find her true self. Not knowing where to go, she found a hiking trail online, All Trail. Young-pil, recognizing the name, just smirked and called Samdal as naive as ever. Samdal, annoyed, urged him to leave quickly. At a traffic light, Young-pil ran into Kyung-tae again. He was staring into space. Last night, when Kyung-tae had poured out his heart, Young-pil had confessed he had never once tried to forget Samdal. Thinking of that, the light turned green, and Kyung-tae floored the gas and drove off. He'd seen Young-pil nearby but didn't know how to face him. And as Young-pil watched him disappear, Young-pil felt inexplicably sad. Ever since Dae-young first saw his ex-wife, he's been completely out of sorts. Plus, he was panicking, worried B couldn't salvage their broken relationship. Just then, the eldest brother sarcastically commented that Dae-young's involvement in this event was overbearing. Deep down, Dae-young was angry, but he couldn't resist pretending to be his brother. The eldest sister appeared. She reminded him, whenever she get fired up, you can't help but lash out. Hearing that, he nearly fainted. She immediately urged him to exercise more to fulfill the role of a man. But as soon as she turned away, this was all in Dae-young's imagination. He'd never actually witnessed such scenes. He immediately had his secretary find out where his eldest sister lived. Meanwhile, Kyung-tae took Samdal's sister shopping. Noticing she picked out a pair of binoculars, as she tried to sneak some liquor, a hand suddenly grabbed her. It was Secretary Gao. After Samdal's little sister left, the elder sister admitted she was glad to see Secretary Gao doing well. He was quite happy. Admittedly, Secretary Gao owes his success today to the lessons learned from the elder sister. And he deeply regretted that he hadn't reached out even once in 4 years. At the same time, Samdal's sister hadn't gone home. She sat on the breakwater, watching dolphins through binoculars. Mom called, asking where she was and saying she'd come pick her up. A young man, having lost his signal, came up to the binocular spot. In their awkward interaction, a coin dropped. He immediately knelt down to search for it, only to be spotted by the third sister, who had come to pick up the child. Though she didn't want to interfere, after seeing how the young man had been unusually forward and perhaps not too bright, the third sister hesitated and lent him money. But upon realizing he might be disabled, she carefully asked for his name and suggested sending him back to the shelter. The young man, sensing the misunderstanding, handed her a business card. "My name is Ji-chan. I'm the president of a dolphin protection group." The third sister, realizing how she had overreacted, chased after Ji-chan. Samdal's sister saw the two running over. Ji-chan, eager to return to the center, turned to leave, but the third sister blocked him, saying, "You don't have to return the 501. And so they were even. Samdal's sister watched the whole thing. She seemed to think Mom and Ji-chan might find happiness together, then called out a line that broke my defenses, "Let's go, Auntie." Meanwhile, Samdal's sister and Secretary Gao were walking home when they saw Dae-young sneaking around the door. He lied, saying he was looking for Secretary Gao, but Samdal's sister quickly saw through him. Elsewhere, on a secluded path in the Samdal district, normally visited only by elderly couples, the news of Samdal returning to Seoul had spread throughout the village. The women soon assumed the two had gotten back together. Samdal's mother informed everyone to stop spreading rumors. When Young-pil's father objected to their relationship years ago, he had brought up past resentment. Even though Samdal begged him, he refused. Later, Samdal, still heartbroken, initiated the breakup. Now, seeing the two meeting frequently, his father caught them. He just wanted to know if they had reconciled. Samdal apologized repeatedly and rushed home. Samdal's mother noticed the mood and was about to speak when she saw Young's father passing by. Both families seemed to have some unresolved misunderstandings. That night, Young-pil's father drank alone with seafood sauce. Fearing he'd eat something too salty, Young-pil tried to mend relations by offering seasoned sea snails. But his father's eyes turned red as he looked at them, and he refused to eat, citing a dislike of cucumbers. Before he left, he asked if he still resented him. He didn't look back. 8 years ago, his father had also been drinking alone and refused to let his son study abroad with Samdal, despite his pleading. Meanwhile, Samdal's father had secretly brought medicine for his wife, believing their daughters should know of her illness. But Samdal's mother thought it best to keep it quiet. In the living room, the daughters had concerns too. The eldest sister saw negative news about her husband's corporation, plus his cowardly behavior earlier that day. Although she wanted to help, she didn't know where to start, so she just turned off the TV. The third sister, looking at her daughter's back, mustered courage to ask why she called Mom Aunt. Samdal's sister replied she just hoped Mom was her aunt then. The third sister, loving her role, said, "I am your mother." Just as the divers were preparing to go into the sea, Samdal's mother suddenly felt a tightness in her chest, her face flushed. To prevent Young-pil from noticing, she straightened up and acted like nothing had happened. Meanwhile, Samdal planned a walk around the village. While Samdal's mother was collecting shells, she got distracted and accidentally cut the back of her hand. She immediately swam upstream, but just as she surfaced, she was slammed back into the water by a large wave and washed to shore. Unfortunately, this triggered her heart condition. Someone arrived just in time and saved her. Meanwhile, Samdal happened to be walking near the shoreline. Before they could get close, the person shouted, "She almost had an accident just now." Samdal rushed to her mother, checking if she felt unwell and thanking De Young for the rescue. Soon, the two of them rode their bike home. Samdal told her mother she didn't need to keep working anymore, she would cover the living expenses. But Samdal's mother replied, "How can I take my child's money? I'll keep diving until the day I die." When they got home, Samdal's mother scolded her for being soft-hearted and quickly packed up a basket of seafood. As Samdal turned to get a bowl, she saw her mother placing the seafood at Young-pil's family's doorstep. However, Young-pil's father, just getting home, picked up the seafood and tossed it into the live tank. So, what misunderstanding exists between the two families? Later, Samdal's younger sister tried to set up a coincidental meeting for their mom by intentionally calling her aunt Mom, but was caught by her ex-brother-in-law. He suspected something and wondered, if the child is 4 years old, wasn't that when the divorce happened? That night, Samdal secretly flipped through her father's diary and found not only a hospital follow-up schedule but also heart-friendly dietary notes. She immediately asked her father if her mother was sick. Her father, clearly flustered, claimed he had written it down to help take care of an elderly woman in the village. But Samdal remembered her mom clutching her chest earlier that day after drinking too much coffee. She seemed unwell. Realizing something wasn't right, she left home to ask Young-pil, her mother's closest friend. Coincidentally, Young-pil had just gotten off work and bumped into her. Before Samdal could speak, Young-pil handed her a job posting for a photographer at the weather station. However, Samdal wasn't interested. Meanwhile, Samdal's sister and her ex-husband arrived at her house. The ex-husband didn't understand what was going on and approached her carefully, guessing, if the girl is 4, wasn't she born around the time of the divorce? His heart broke thinking the child might not be his. But before he could get too far into the idea, his ex-wife corrected him. The child was 9 years old. He had mistakenly thought she had a child with someone else during their marriage. She angrily clarified the child was her niece. He breathed a huge sigh of relief, realizing it all made sense, and even smiled. His ex-wife couldn't believe how gullible he was. His ex-wife expected him to say something dramatic like wanting to get back together. Back to Samdal, Young-pil found a flyer in her pocket and thought she was starting a new life. But Samdal claimed she never photographed landscapes. Kyungtae disagreed. He had saved many of her scenic photos from childhood. Their dorm even had a collection of her childhood photos, all labeled with time and place. On the way home, Young-pil told Samdal if she changed her mind, she could come with her at 7 a.m. to apply. For someone whose dream was photography, this was a big moment. Samdal signed up online, though the online registration had already ended. Meanwhile, the women divers were planning to go diving. Samdal's mother was watching the calm sea. One diver suggested it was windless, so they should be able to dive. After registering, Samdal saw Yongpil's message in the meteorology staff room. I became a weather broadcaster to protect the people I cherish. Then, her colleague insisted on giving her a tour of the control room. At the same time, Yongpil noticed data showing a strong offshore wind rapidly approaching the usual diving site. But the divers, including Samdal's mother, were already underwater. She called out a warning, telling everyone to return to shore. As they were swimming back, Samdal's mother's heart conditions suddenly acted up. She couldn't breathe and quickly lost consciousness, slamming into a button underwater. Her condition worsened rapidly, and she sank into the depths of the sea. One diver was the first to notice she was missing. The others immediately dove to search for her. At the same moment, Samdal had just entered the control room and received an emergency call. A diver had gone missing. Yongpil checked the surveillance monitors. He only saw Samdal's mother's float but not her. Realizing who was missing, he froze in horror. Elsewhere, the sisters were home when one diver burst through the door crying, unable to speak clearly. The eldest and youngest daughters instantly understood and ran out. An ambulance tore through the village. Yongpil's father, physically strong, turned around and saw the eldest and youngest daughters running with everything they had. He dropped what he was holding and ran after them. Soon, everyone gathered at the work site. The three daughters called out desperately for their mother, tears streaming down their faces. The haenyeo nearby wiped their own eyes, full of guilt. This is the end of part 1. Subscribe and drop a heart if you want the continuation. See you next time.